Ahoy there, mateys. We're Jobbo and Cheryl. If you're new here, let me catch you up real quick. We swapped snowy mountain peaks in Canada for work opportunities here on Australia's wild west coast.
Finishing this 12-hour night shift, then I got a 10-hour drive to Carnarvon.
Only to hit the brick wall of Perth's housing crisis. But instead of getting stuck, we got creative. One spark of inspiration at Perth's port city of Fremantle led to resurrecting a broken sailing dream.
What do you reckon? Good idea to buy a boat?
Yeah.
Finding a home that floats and chasing adventure, all rolled into one wild plan. It's been risky,
Having a couple of troubles here.
messy,
Definitely time for breakfast.
and full of thread-the-needle moments. But here we are,
We still got a lot of work to do to trust this boat.
moving forward with grit, gumption, and a pinch of madness. This is a story of beating the system while chasing a life less ordinary. Join us. We're just getting started. All right, let's get cracking.
Morning. So we're out. We just made it out of Carnarvon there. We're just hitting these last couple of channel markers to get out into the proper deeper water. And then we're heading south. Just a little ways. a little tester sail. We chose today and tomorrow specifically because it's light winds, and so far it's seeming a little too light. So, I mean, we'll have a smooth trip at least, but hopefully when we turn the corner here and get a little bit off land, maybe the wind fills in a touch more, it'd be nice, but we'll see. If not, we'll just motor sail and cruise along and just enjoy it. Carnarvon Sea Rescue, Carnarvon Sea Rescue. This is sailing vessel Nautigirl on 16. Yeah, the winds are light. We knew they were going to be light. They're a little lighter than we'd hoped. So we're just kind of rolling along at 4 knots, which isn't terrible. But obviously, 5 knots would be better. And I think the wind's going to totally drop out in a couple of hours. So I think we're just going to cruise along for now and then see how we go. Once the wind drops out, then we can maybe just motor sail. But yeah, it's nice out here. Beautiful day. Just rolling along.
So how are things going?
Well, I had the great idea to fly the drone. Yeah, the boat looked sick from the drone, and then I was so stressed flying it. I hit record, but it didn't record. It just took a photo because it's in photo mode for some reason. I couldn't get it back in. It's always an issue flying off the boat. It's really hard to catch a drone because we're moving and the drone's like very steady. But then all the sensors, it just always tries to fly away from you. Like it doesn't want to fly near anything, which is super annoying. And then I panically call Cheryl to come save me because I'm gonna lose the drone. And then she like snatches it out of the air like a pro, but it like clips her on the knuckles, so now she's bleeding. But yeah, apart from that, a bit annoying, but the footage should look great. Hopefully insert here.
I'm on the helm at the moment and we're about 3.5 hours into our sail over to the islands. Hectic morning again, as you would imagine. I'd love to say that I was having the time of my life, but we still got a lot of work to do to trust this boat. Working as a team and not having a autopilot is definitely making that a little bit difficult. It means that we're having to stay on the helm taking some turns, but it's really calm out here. I've already seen a dolphin, just a solitary dolphin, you know, shifted the gears in the sail, I think, because we're running on adrenaline quite a lot at the moment. But absolutely beautiful out here. The plan is now to get to Cattlewell, practice anchoring again. So hoping to see some more wildlife, slowly starting to feel a little bit more confident and a little bit more appreciative of what's happening out here and the scenery. So
the water turned to glass as we glided toward Cattlewell, about 14 kilometres southwest of Cape Peron's northern tip. Nautigirl seemed to cut silently through the turquoise waters of Shark Bay,
It's hammer time!
lulling us into golden hour and casting a dreamy glow, wrapping us in an almost otherworldly calm. A great sense of accomplishment washed over us as we officially dropped anchor for the first time, savouring our inaugural night at sea. It was obscenely serene. Just us.
I think this will do nicely.
No other sailboats in sight.
Good enough for one night.
But let's be honest, we were mostly eager to drop anchor, crack a drink,
Young cruisers.
and toast to surviving day one with minimal hiccups.
Did it?
A great motor. So.
A great sail and then motor. Check this out. This is an absolute animal sanctuary. There's animals everywhere.
The stillness was occasionally interrupted by muted splashes. After some intense staring into the void, we finally pieced it together.
What is that?
A marlin, hunting fish right next to the boat.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
What was it?
Don't know. Here we are, full sail. This is kind of ideal conditions. I think there's like 8 knots apparent. We're pretty much close haul. We're not really pinching off tight. But the boat sail's pretty good to wind. Have found though, this isn't the right genoa for this boat. It's actually a little bit too large. I can't get it in tight enough to sail correctly close hauled. At the top of the mast, I hit the spreader when I try to come in real tight, so it's just not quite the exact cut for the boat. But she's working quite well. That's how you can see my telltales on the inside of the sail, just flapping just a tiny bit. But we're cranking along just nice, almost 5 knots. It's good sailing. So our current plan is we're trying to clear this headland just here. Good times though. How's that first lean? Everything is on the floor inside the boat now.
Close hauled isn't always the most comfortable point of sail, but we did go on a pretty big lean there. Like a few gusts came up. I guess once you tightened in the mainsail, we went from about 4.5 to 5 knots to just over 6. So yeah, the tow rail was this close to touching, so we depowered a little bit. But yeah, we're out here, we're sailing, we're doing it.
So.
Yeah, we saw a gigantic seal, but it's so funny because something's been popping out the water periodically as we were coming into anchor last night, and it weirdly just looks like there's a wee manny in the water, just like, what are you doing over there? And then disappears, and you're like, what was that?
I learned it was actually a dugong, a gentle marine mammal often mistaken for seals or manatees. Shark Bay, at the most westerly point of the Australian continent, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, famed for its rich marine life. It's home to the world's largest and most diverse seagrass beds, which sustain a significant population of dugongs, often called sea cows. But Shark Bay isn't just about dugongs, it's also home to marine icons like loggerhead turtles, bottlenose dolphins, tiger sharks, sea snakes, stingrays, and humpback whales, to name a few. Beyond its natural wonders, Shark Bay has historical significance as one of the first European landing sites in Australia. In 1616, Dutch explorer Dirk Hartog arrived on his ship Eendracht on what's now Dirk Hartog Island, leaving behind an inscribed pewter plate to mark the event, the start of the European exploration in Australia. In a few months, we'll be back, continuing south along the western Australian coast, towards Perth, to work in the mines and save for our big voyage to Indonesia.
How good were the stars?
Yeah.
The stars were probably the most intense I've ever seen them. You could see the Milky Way clear as night.
Clear as
Yes, not clear as day. And we saw a sea snake. I mean, there's so much wildlife around here, it's unbelievable. We paid for it with that rolly night's sleep last night. I basically just had my eyes shut for 8 hours. So, yeah.
Oh, that was
welcome to anchoring. Welcoming to anchoring?
Welcoming to anchoring. You're welcoming.
Rolly anchorages, my favourite.
My favourite. Sign me up for another.
Just rounding Point Peron. I took some footage, but you could see a line where the depths get a little shallower and then the tide's kind of changing. So we've just kind of reached high tide and we're going into low tide now. It's usually about a 6-hour turnover. So it created this weird little line with little wavy sections. So there's people on the beach at Point Peron. It's a really, really cool cliff face. Absolutely beautiful out here. Unfortunately, we've had to motor around this point because we're pointing right into the wind and there's not much wind anyway. Excited.
Still getting the hang of this guy. The Wild West. This bank, all the way in it, just. So we're 2 meters under the keel and we're pretty much at high tide here, 2 meter tides. But still, you see how far out we are. Cool, let's go explore a bit. Yeah, but as we know, it's too late when we're already getting fucked and we're trying to sleep.
Thought we agreed we weren't going to swear on camera anymore.
I'm not on camera. Well, hello.
What are you up to?
There was word of a stern anchor deep within the stern of our vessel. And it holds true, there's a stern anchor, here it is, with a lot of rode. So we're not rolling too bad now, but after last night, we just kind of like, we have the fear of another rolling night, so we're gonna run out of stern anchor. Just so we can hold ourselves into the swell, so we, instead of rolling, we ride the swell a bit more. Let's put it out anyway, going ashore, so. We're only anchored in 2 meters of water, just over 2 meters of water. And now we're at the shore and we're still 100 meters off the shore and I'm ankle deep. Like it's just so flat and gradual.
It's like we've just walked upon this plane in a dream.
Action!
What a spot.
It's a shame about the tide. It would have been nice to spend a bit more time.
It would have been nice to spend a bit more time, but we can still have a pretty flippin' good sundowner barbecue on the boat.
What kind of monster has picked me up? Fucking flying!
I didn't mention it before, but we were celebrating our 1-year wedding anniversary after tying the knot back home in Golden. At the time, we had no clue we would be wintering in Australia, let alone sticking around, buying another boat, and resurrecting Project Freewheel. It's mind-blowing how much has changed, and yet perfectly in tune with how we've always lived.
Good morning. I think it's about 6:45 maybe. We had a pretty good run of sleep until about midnight maybe, and then the boat was nodding all night, so another sleepless night. It didn't stop us from getting up this morning and taking down the Genoa. Jobbo's not quite happy with the setup there because it's touching the spreader, so we have another sail down in the front cabin. So we thought we'd get that out and just hoist it and see what it was. Turns out it's the Yankee, which I think is the original setup for this boat, a Yankee sail. I needed help Jobbo there, he's off getting the stern anchor. Yeah, so the original setup would be the Yankee sail, a staysail, and then the mainsail. So actually it cuts a beautiful angle. It's quite high cut, it's very light, so we'll see how that goes this morning. Absolutely beautiful sunrise here, and we're going to start heading back to Carnarvon. So it's looking quite light winds, maybe a high of 12 knots, and then maybe dying off a little bit more in the afternoon, so we're hoping to sail some of the way again, much like the last 2 days. This has been a really epic trip. I'm really stoked. We saw some amazing stuff. Chuffed with how things are going.
Alright, the anchor's up!
Tell me, Captain, what's been happening?
Well, we're underway, back towards Carnarvon. So we're up early this morning, and we thought, yeah, another rolling night, so I'm like super tired, so my thoughts will be disjointed. But we knew there was another head sail in the boat, so we're like, let's do it first thing this morning, because we knew we were going to be upwind today. Pull down that Genoa, and I thought there was another Genoa. But we pulled it down and started to get the other one hoisted. It turns out it's a Yankee, not a Genoa, which isn't all bad, but obviously it's quite a small sail. So I don't know if it's going to give us what we need. So far we're just motor sailing, got the main up, and we're just almost around Cape Peron here, and there's a shoal at the edge of it. So instead of doing some big weird tacks, we're just kind of staying super close haul motor sailing until we clear that point, and then we can bear away a bit more and we can try to get the Yankee up and see if it's going to fly for us. That's about it. It's been a fun couple of days.
Conditions are getting a little sporty out here today in the Indian Ocean. It's about 12 knots. Using the Beaufort scale, we can see some sheep's heads. Unfortunately, we're beating upwind, so there's a little bit of swell, but it's making for some fun wavy davies. So we're just enjoying some big bow splashes.
Go get wet!
And I think I found my favourite spot on the boat here. It's just half in, half out of bunkie. So you're protected enough from the wind on your face to enjoy the motion of the ocean, but a little bit out to feel a little bit of wind and watch the waves. We have our full mainsail out. We can't put out the proper Genoa. It's just a little bit too choppy to get that thing out here and try and get it up without autopilot. So we've just put that Yankee away and we're just trying our best. This is kind of what this Shakedown sail is about, just trying different sails and getting used to helming again and really getting a feel for what this boat is like. But so far she's handling it like an absolute beast. That was fun. It's like a roller coaster out there.
Yeah.
Really get a feel for it, you know? Just getting out there. Catching some swell, dude.
Just experience nature, bro. We're about a quarter of the way there, but we're barely getting up to 4 knots now. Because we're just hitting these repeated swell, we speed up and then bash through 3 and then we're stopped again. Then we speed up, but we'll get there when we get there. Can't race these things.
3 days at sea and countless lessons learned. Wrapping up this Shakedown cruise and bringing Project Freewheel one step closer to reaching the summit of our ambitious plan. Looking back, it's clear we've made strides, not just as rusty sailors, but as partners and a team. There's still so much to learn, tweak and plan. Still, for now, it's about savouring the simple victories. A sunset sail, a peaceful mooring, and the realisation that this spontaneous life pivot, crazy as it is, might just be working.
So, there we have it. Sun's just setting. We can just see Carnarvon up ahead. So it was a big old rolling motory day we had, but we're back. So the plan is we're bang on low tide, so we can't get back in the Vicine to the marina where we've got a dock. So just past the main small boats harbour, there's a little channel called Tegg's Channel, and apparently you can sneak in there and it's a pretty good anchorage. We're almost inside the cardinal markers and in the main channel here, so stoked.
As the sun sets on this leg of the journey, I find myself thinking about what it's all about. For me, it's about braving the unknown, tackling challenges together, and fulfilling that childlike craving to explore, even if it means rolly anchorages, sails misbehaving, and smashing your fingers catching a rogue drone. I'm sure many more challenges will come our way, but until then, fair winds and following seas.
Good morning, we're just confirming that we're safe back from our trip in the harbour. Thank you.
Hey guys, quick update here for you. Jobbo's away working in the mines.
Howdy, I'm just up north of the Pilbara working. I just want to do a massive shout out to all the new subs, everybody who's come along for the journey. Gonna find that adventure, so up here getting it done and hoping to bring you out some more awesome videos. Cheers.
I just want to give a massive thank you to all of our new subscribers. We officially reached the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is really exciting. And I think actually today we're up at about 1,026 maybe, so keep them coming in. And yeah, get in the comments, let us know where you're from, any tips, recommendations. Does anybody have any experience with a steel sailboat? I finally received my permanent residency, so that's super exciting. And it did prove a little bit more difficult to get work here than I anticipated. So I've been kind of concentrating on that, hence the gap from the last video to this video. However, I'm thrilled to announce that I did in fact get work in the mines as a trades assistant and a start next week. So that means we can move on with the project. We've got some big financial goals to hit this coming year, namely paying off the boat loan and moving forward with all the upgrades and things we want to do to the boat. Okay, I think that's about it. I won't keep you any longer, but thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!